Greetings, everybody. My name is Wellington Ramos. I'm from Belize, Central America, from a town called Dangriga, and I'm a proud Garifuna. Who are the Garifuna people? The Garifuna people originated from a country called St. Vincent and the Grenadines, which is in the Caribbean, and they are a mixture of Arawak, Carib, and African. There are three theories of the Garifuna people. One theory is that centuries before the Europeans came to this part of the world, Africans migrated to the Caribbean and they intermingled with these native tribes, and through acculturation brought about a new ethnic group called Garifuna. That's one theory. The other theory is that there was a ship that was bringing African slaves to the Caribbean, and that ship had shipwrecked, and the people escaped and then intermingled with these native Indians, the Kalinago and the Kalinago Indians. And then the third one was that slaves were always brought to the neighboring islands, and the Garifuna people would steal these slaves from the Europeans and bring them to St. Vincent, and through their acculturation brought about the Garifuna people. Now, from our oral history, we know for a fact that we are inclined to believe the first theory, that we were here centuries before the Europeans came, intermingled with the native Kalinago and Kalinago, and the tracing of our people is West Africa, the Mende tribe, which is about 12 tribes that still exist today in West Africa.
Hi, my name is Guerrero, and I'm a proud Garifuna from the country of Belize, and more specifically the town of Dangriga. And I wanted to talk with you today about Garifuna Nation. Garifuna Nation is a concept whose time is long past due. As many of us know, and we were told by our grandparents, we're from the country of Urume, which was taken over by the French and the British from under us, and they deported us to Central America when we fought for our rights. And since we've been in Central America, we've been split asunder in many countries, such as we landed in Honduras, and we then branched out to Nicaragua, Guatemala, Belize. Now we're in the United States, and of course many of us remain back in Urume as well. The cost of remaining in Urume was that under the British rule, after defeat, they could no longer speak their language. They could no longer practice their culture. Those of us who came to Central America, who were brought to Central America and exiled from our own country, we kept our culture. The price we paid for keeping our culture was the exile. But because of our culture today, we actually give definition to the region of Central America. Because our culture is so strong, it's so dominant, that our culture is respected in all the countries where we are. All those countries can look at us and say, look at these wonderful people who are part of our country. But in moving to, or in being exiled to Central America, what happened was we lost our ability to be a nation, to govern ourselves. And what is a nation? A nation is a set of people who are connected by the spirituality, their beliefs, their practices, their economy, and some other ways of being within a cultural context. So we have all of us with the same culture in all these different countries in Central America. But yet we function individually in those nations. We don't work together as a cohesive nation. And as a result, we suffer from discrimination in those nations where we are, because it's not our original land. Who will discriminate against us in our original lands? You remain. So where we are, Honduras, the government is aggressive against our people. In Nicaragua, our land rights right now are being threatened by the Chinese plan to build a canal straight through Nicaragua, which will go through indigenous lands. So our land rights there, they planned this canal without consulting the people who would be affected. So Nicaragua, our rights are being trampled on. Guatemala, the same thing. Belize, the same thing. Many of us have come to the U.S. to try to get away from the discrimination in Central America. And in the U.S., some of us have found that we have a freedom to express ourselves, to be ourselves, but our culture is still split asunder. So Garifuna Nation then seeks to bring us all together under a social philosophy, political philosophy, economic philosophy once again. And I hope that you'll join us in pushing for Garifuna Nation once again. Thank you.